This episode of Android Weekly is brought to you by Domaincom. Oh, things are heating up as the Mobile World Congress approaches because we not only have credible pics of the new HTC One, but we have a teaser video directly from Samsung. Don't mind the eye-sheep gentleman behind me.
iPad! He uses an iPad! I've seen his iPad!
Don't worry, I will rehabilitate him. Samsung sure is turning up the hype machine. A few days ago, Samsung released its first teaser video of the upcoming Galaxy S6, which was all about the handset's camera. And now, more recently, the company just tweeted a second video. This time, it's all about speed. Now again, we aren't treated to any sneak peeks and there aren't any features mentioned by name. However, it's almost inevitable that the Samsung Galaxy S6 will boast cutting-edge processor technology come its release. Samsung recently announced its revised, more energy-efficient 14nm Exynos 7 Octa, which will be right on with the speed message in this video. Similarly, if the reduced bloatware rumors turn out to be true, the Galaxy S6 software may be leaner and nippier this time around. Later last week, Samsung also talked about the future support for multiple wireless charging standards. Although the Galaxy S6 wasn't mentioned by name, the post heavily suggested that the S6 would be one of the company's first handsets to feature support for multiple wireless charging technologies. After the first video, we are also pretty sure that the camera's technology will again be an important feature for the Galaxy S6. Samsung's executives have promised intelligent camera technology, and the company recently published an infographic seen right here about the evolution of its camera technology. Also, with regards to the camera, Samsung will reportedly use Sony's IMX240 camera sensor in the upcoming Galaxy S6. As reported by Sam Mobile, the Galaxy S6 will also tote a 16-megapixel rear-facing camera and not the 20-megapixel camera that was previously rumored. Now, we also have some credible news regarding the S6's battery, and it turns out it might only be a 2600 mAh battery, a little lower than we might have expected. But now we have another clue that the Galaxy S6 will indeed pack a 2600 mAh battery in the form of shots uploaded by a user of China's Weibo social network. One of the albums uploaded by a said user shows photos that appear to be taken inside a battery manufacturing facility, and one of the images is tagged Samsung Galaxy S6 battery. Why would Samsung reduce the battery size of the S6? The answer may lie in the phone's sealed construction of the 6.9mm profile. The design constraints probably forced Samsung to shave off size of the battery inside the S6. But that doesn't necessarily mean a smaller battery means reduced battery life. There have been other innovations in Samsung's recent system on a chip that reduce battery consumption. So we'll have to wait and see for the review. Now, for those of you who love the design of the HTC One M9, you're going to like these. German retailer Cyberport put up product pages showing what appear to be press shots and complete specifications of the HTC One M9. The pages have been since removed, but mobile geeks preserve the good stuff for posterity. First up, the specs shared by Cyberport match everything we've been hearing through the grapevine about the HTC One M9. The device will feature a 5-inch Full HD screen, a Snapdragon 810 processor clocked at 2 GHz, 3 GB of RAM, 32 GB for internal storage, which are expandable, and a 2900 mAh battery, a 20-megapixel rear-facing camera, and a 4-megapixel ultra-pixel front shooter. The device will be slightly thicker and larger than the One M9, but HTC managed to reduce the M9's weight. So last week, I dedicated a whole show to smartwatches, and one of the stumbling blocks that we felt was holding the smartwatches back was the geeky design or lack of fashionable design. Well, LG is trying to change that with the LG Urbane. At first glance, the LG Watch Urbane appears to take the basic rounded design of the LG G Watch R and simply glam it up a bit. We're told it's a full metal design, save the watch face itself, and can accept any 22mm band of your choosing. Rounding out the spec list, expect the same internals of the G Watch R, a 1.2 GHz Snapdragon 400 system on a chip, 512 megabytes of RAM, 4 gigabytes of internal storage, and a 1.3-inch rounded display. Sensors including the accelerometer, barometer, compass, and heart rate sensor. A 410 mAh battery should keep the lights on for a day, hopefully, and the LG G Watch Urbane will also be dust and water resistant. That watch is looking pretty sweet. Ladies, is that something you would wear? Or gentlemen of a more fashionable persuasion, is this something that you would buy and wear? Please let me know in the comments below. At last week's show where I covered smartwatches, there was lots of ladies commenting on that very topic. I'd love to hear it. A couple weeks ago, I was able to listen to a podcast that covered the business world surrounding domain names. And it was amazing because they were interviewing people who had very cleverly bought domain names from 10, 15 years ago that weren't popular and weren't known, and people didn't understand why they would be valuable. And of course, a few years later, they were extremely valuable, and this just changed their lives. Well, we're sort of in a second gold rush when it comes to domain names because relatively recently, domain name extensions have opened up. It's not just .com, .net, and .org anymore. I mean, you need to check out the options and get educated about the possible opportunities for you. You now have the opportunity to name your site and build your brand in ways never before possible. Choose from the growing list of more than 200 domain name extensions like .ninja, .nyc, .expert, or .club, all available at Domain.com. And the guys at Domain.com want to hook our viewers up with a great offer. Save 15% off domain names and web hosting when you use our coupon code ANDROID at Domain.com's checkout. Don't forget, 15% off when you use our coupon code ANDROID. When you think domain names, think Domain.com. Thanks for watching Android Army. My name is Jayce. Love to connect with you right here on Google Plus or Twitter. And this is usually the spot where I answer some questions that have been in the comments, or I ask you questions. And I'm gonna do that twice today. I'm gonna ask you a question and I'm gonna answer your questions. Some questions I get that are kind of goofy is why am I so goofy? Why do I make so many, weird faces and all that kind of stuff? And why do I always look angry? I'm not angry. I'm a very extroverted, gregarious, happy guy, but I am animated. I can't just deliver the straight news. I would die. That's just not who I am. I'm goofy. I'm loud. That's just who I am. I'm comfortable being that way. That answers your question. I am gonna ask you a question now. Tablet. I'm gonna buy a tablet this week sometime. And I am not entirely decided yet on whether I should get the iPad Air 2 or just perhaps the iPad Air, or get the Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1, maybe the 10.5, or even go for the Dell tablet that Taylor just came out with a review. That thing looks awesome, but it's a little small for me. I'm looking for something big. I use my iPad mini all the time, right? Like all day. And I need something more powerful. And there are so many more iPad apps in the iOS ecosystem, really premium, gorgeous apps for the tablet, a lot less so in the Google Play Store. And that might be the deciding factor. But do any of you have a premium Android tablet that you really love? Let me know. Are you happy you got that over the iPad Air? Let me know what you guys think. I'll be reading them in the comments below. Don't forget about my brothers in Android, Josh, Joe, and the Tech Ninja, Kevin, Lonnie, Chris, Garen, Ash, and Taylor, all working super hard to deliver the very best Android content on the web. I shall see you next week on Android Q&A.